with you.
There, right at the end.
Got him.
Welcome back to the LCS for our second game of the day. It's TSM and it's CLG, two of the longest standing orgs in League of Legends history, and also the two orgs that took part in the first ever LCS game.
Oh, the memories. Studio.
Oh, the memories. Look at the teams that were in the league at the time. Just a quick supercut of what the broadcast looked like as a whole. Look at some of those champion portraits, the meta itself.
Who won this game?
At the time?
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz?
I have no idea.
Oh, look at
I want to say TSM because stats would be on my side in terms of, like, I know they've won more in the head-to-head, but you're already giving me a look.
My
like
memory says it was CLG. I remember
huh?
I was in Mexico for my sister's wedding for this game. That's why I wasn't on the broadcast.
This is
I
right
was watching.
after Elise came out and she was being played top lane. I remember playing Elise.
Yeah, Elise
top.
was funny. She was playing support. She was playing
That was
top.
so fun.
All she needed was Sork shoes, remember? Because it was just
Yeah.
all about her base
Wow, that
values
was a fun time
of
to play
percent
Elise.
health and stuff like
Yeah,
that. She
but-
just destroyed everyone.
The reason this was the first game ever of LCS is because even before LCS, it was about the TSM versus CLG rivalry.
Exactly. Exactly. Long before the LCS was even started, these two orgs were going at each other's throats for dominance. But as we reflect on the first game of the LCS, CLG's Palafox is giving us the modern perspective on the TSM-CLG rivalry. Take a look.
So I think it kind of the TSM CLG rivalry has like always been a thing, I guess, in esports. I didn't watch esports back then when it was like really in full force, but like recently, I think Luger said something to Spica in a game, but didn't know it was Spica, and then Spica or Core like posted it on Twitter, and yeah, got a lot of upvotes, you know, and it's just kind of funny like watching the banter, and then past that, like. I mean, we're kind of just both in like last place right now, right? So now it's just like a race to kind of see who's gonna beat each other.
Watch who you're flaming on solo queue. It might be someone you
First of all,
know.
that. But I mean, I love it, right? Because what's interesting about that is like, it's good perspective of younger players, younger fans who are aware that this rivalry exists,
he also says like
but they're not
since
as
the beginning
bought
of
in.
esports. Like both these orgs started in League of Legends. Contractz and Reggie formed these teams as league players.
Yeah, what's StarCraft?
we know.
Esports.
What's Smite? Yeah, what's Quake? Any of those kinds of things. Anyway, these two teams, though, as he mentioned, are in a very different position because back in the day, Jat, when the conversation was around these two teams, it's because they were two of the best, not just here in North America, but in the world in those initial couple of years. And now here they are, both at 1-6 at the bottom of the table. It's got a different feeling around it.
I agree. I will say one thing. I'm still really excited for it.
Oh, I'm so excited for it.
Two things.
I might be more excited for it.
I also don't think TSM is the worst.
You don't think
They are
TSM is
not the worst.
All right, so hey.
We're narrowing down.
So yeah, when it comes to
so
Jad has definitively declared that neither Immortals or TSM are the worst team.
Neither
in
of
the
them will
LCS,
be the worst
But it's one of the
at
other
the end
8
of the year.
teams. Emily, what is your take on this rivalry and where the teams are at right now?
I mean, it's interesting to find them now in the same spot because I do think another thing to mention is that for most of the years in LCS specifically, especially in recent memory, TSM has definitely had the advantage here. As for these two teams coming in, I mean, I think you can see in both of them, again, like small things that each team is improving upon.
Yeah.
And neither of them have been able to put those things together with any sort of consistency.
Yeah, I mean, the fans are excited for this one. That's for damn sure. It's we come off the Super Bowl and all this one. This is just as good. It's the Dust Bowl.
It's like it's Super Bowl and then 1-6 CLG versus TSM, right? Right behind it.
Right there.
In the
right
pecking
there.
order of games to watch.
And so I think I kind of mentioned it in waiting room. I think TSM right now is just the better team. They have like the more talented players that are inching closer to. What?
Well, that's going to make Jad a very happy man because he
go.
also agrees that they're not the worst team.
A little scared now.
now he's a little scared. Okay, well, while this game has implications for the historic rivalry, it also has implications close to the heart. Check this one out.
But most of all, I promise to sit next to you on the couch while CLG gets slammed by TSM.
All right, so we are joined by Jessica and Derek, as well as their new baby, Drake. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you both doing today?
Hello.
Hi.
We're good.
So big matchup. I mean, first of all, clearly massive fandom if it's going to be included in the wedding vows. But we can see as adorned by both of your outfits who's the TSM fan and who's the CLG fan. Jessica, I'll go to you first. We've been having this conversation about the 1-6 score lines for both teams. What has been your take as a longtime TSM fan around kind of the difficulty that your team's been facing, but the fact that you get to at least enter this matchup tied with your biggest rival?
Hey, we might be tied, but we're still going to come out on top.
All right, so calling the 2-6 scoreline today. What is it about this TSM squad that you think is going to, kind of come together today to bring home the win?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What do you think it is about this TSM roster? Like, is there a specific player you think is going to pop off today? What is it about them that you think is going to bring them that second win of their split today?
I think they're just going to do good overall. Everybody's going to just come together as a team and just make it happen.
All right, fair enough. Derek, what about CLG? Why are they taking the win today?
Well, we're looking at CLG. We got Contractz is already called that whenever he plays TSM, they're going to win. So I'm listening to Contractz. We're going for the 12-0 dream for the rest of the season.
I like it. I like it. I like it. And then most importantly, where's Drake stand on this matchup?
Hey, he's a CLG, right?
No. Shame on him.
He knows.
Oh man, he's gonna grow up with a complex now, caught between two of the biggest orgs in LCS history. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. Congratulations on the beautiful newborn baby, and I hope you guys enjoy the match. I hope the teams deliver.
Thank y'all. Go CLG.
Damn right. With that, Pastrytime and MarkZ, please take it away for the El Clasico, TSM versus CLG.
Certainly is time, isn't it, MarkZ? I don't know how we can top that wedding vow. That was absolutely savage.
No, that is something that I'm sure they bring up a lot over the course of the. They play a lot of times over a year. I do want to mention one thing from that video they showed of the first LCS game ever.
Yeah.
There's a detail that a lot of people forget about that game. Hotshot on Malphite forgot to take runes. Back in the day, you had like that 30-page of runes that you had to manually put them in.
Yep.
He
Didn't click on them.
He had no runes, and they won that game, and the Twitter beef was the funniest crap ever. They just talked so much smack about they could beat TSM with no runes, and Dyrus is the worst. It was so funny. And
Beautiful.
There's so many moments over time, over the history of the LCS that have so much, personality behind these two orgs and all the times they clash, and it's still going on today.
It is, and obviously very different teams now, right? This is reinvented TSM and CLG. This is definitely the furthest we've been away from these teams that we've known for a while. CLG going through a big rebuild. TSM effectively doing the same here, even though keeping Huni and Spica as kind of their key pieces. And a very different situation for these teams. Like, one of the reasons this is such a storied rivalry is because these were two teams near the top of North America for the longest time. And even though TSM have had a bit more success than CLG in recent years, these teams have never met like this. This is their first encounter, both being 1-6, is pretty different. As we're getting the draft real quick, it's Corki, Rise, and Threshband on the CLG side. Zeri, Gwen, and the extra one gets to be Karma on the TSM side.
We'll have to see what they end up first picking away here. One more thing to just spice this rivalry up
I'm ready.
all the way. In the offseason, a couple months ago, someone was like, with this developmental approach, they were asking Reggie in an AMA, what, are you like, are we ever going to end up like, promising we're not ever going to end up like CLG, who had been struggling in years? And Reggie's response is amazing, and why there's so much hype in this game right now. Reggie said, you can see it on screen, there's no way I would ever let us end up like CLG. I would sell my house, my car, my clothes, everything. And so they're tied in the standings right now, so they're already kind of like each other.
Yeah.
If CLG win, I think Reggie's gotta go just pawn everything off.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got nice stuff. Do I get like a discount on why? Reggie's all right.
Yeah, maybe there's a garage sale outside the TSM Manor. You can go grab whatever you want from Reggie. Sell it on eBay again later.
All right, well, we'll see what happens, because that is big stakes for the longtime player and owner of TSM, who, like we said, doesn't like losing, definitely doesn't like losing to CLG. As we've already had some picks fly through. It is Luger back on the Jinx. It is Aphelios and Leona. Here for Yursan is continuing to play the aggressive supports. Sylas, Nautilus, Leona kind of the other look, as Poome is back on Tahm, Kench, Judy.
A little boring, but a good answer into what they have right now for TSM. Aphelios has some CC he can bring. You combo with Leona often, as we get the Contractz Lee Sin.
You love to see it.
All right, I like it. The Contractz is someone that the team relies on a lot to make engages happen, so give him a champion that can kind of call his own number, doesn't need to combo with anyone, can serve people up for the rest of the team. And like we were saying, Luger on Jinx is probably his best champion in the current meta, and now you have a little bit of defensive options for if Leona ever wants to try and engage, you have a way to save Luger from any threats.
Yeah, the plans for CLG seem fairly straightforward. It's just the execution that suffered in a lot of their games, I feel like. But for the most part, Contractz go bot. Poome and Luger win the 2v2 is kind of been the strategy, and Palafox and Jenkins have done a good job of sometimes finding their own leads, definitely, moving out and getting aggressive on other sections of the map. Like, CLG have lots of different things they can do. It's just finding consistency that's been the biggest thorn in this team's side.
Yeah, I think consistency is the key word for them, because each point in the season, different members have stepped up. There's been a time where Palafox and Jenkins, most recently, it felt like they were the best two members. Palafox had a bit of a dud of a game yesterday. Luger and Poome were the ones who were really running the lock-in tournament. That got a lot of people hyped on them. Contractz has been up and down, and EG, most recently, he looked really good. So the team has the pieces. They just haven't all fired at the same time. For TSM, they were using that roaming top strat last week to kind of find some wins. And I think a lot of people are looking at them saying, are you going to keep that up, or are you going to start playing a little bit more standard now that you have a win under your belt? Like, do you go back to trying to play the game the quote-unquote, like, standard, more normal way?
Right, and I think, like, what is Huni's job on this team is a big question that's tough to answer. Huni's played a lot of different things in his career. He's, willing to be flexible, willing to be versatile, but, his going game didn't look that good, right? Huni on a carry didn't look that good. Huni on Lulu, looks fine, but that's not that exciting for him as a roaming support player. So, like, is there a middle ground you go to? Are you still trying to figure that out as a team? Because again, this is a very new TSM as well, and you can only rally behind your MVP jungler for so long.
Yeah, I think you want to set Spica up for success, which is why you have not matched. You actually have the split picks early on, the Lee Sin for CLG, nothing for Spica, whereas you have your mid laner for Keaiduo, and he has banned out 2 champions that have some setup for the Lee Sin to go aggressive on. You can still pick things like LeBlanc and whatnot, but those are a little less threatening than the Ahri and Syndra, who can kind of fish from afar with that kind of setup. So Keaiduo has played a lot of the Viktor, looked really good on it mechanically, but Viktor's a champion that tends to scale. You want to play for late, and with all the team issues that TSM have had about getting on the same page, team fight champion can sometimes look a little underwhelming, but I think when you look at his individual play, he's looked quite good.
Oh, love to see this from Palafox. I was wondering about Akali, but Sylas, similar kind of flair, a little bit safer, a little bit less, similar, like I'm gonna get hit a lot by lasers in lane, it's not very fun, but the things you do outside of lane are magical on this kind of champion.
A lot of good abilities to steal as well. You have the ult from Leona, obviously, for setting yourself up. Keaiduo's ult is great for team fights. You can steal the Hecarim to get in there, or even if that ends up being a Gnar, something you can grab away as well. So there we go, a pretty aggressive game plan for CLG here. You can see they're going to be focusing on getting this mid lane accelerated, most likely, and kind of leaving the side lanes for themselves. Whereas TSM have a surprisingly standard comp, given what we've seen out of TSM recently. This is pretty much a straight front-to-back team fighting team comp. And they don't have like a necessary lane that they must play around. They don't have a clear like, oh, we're going to get mid with all this gank setup or top or wherever. I think bot is maybe their most proactive lane that you're going to see, but with Poome already having the Tahm Kench, I think a lot of this will be about Spica getting 6, the team setting up around objectives correctly, and going to really test if they've leveled up their fundamentals this week.
Yeah, farm to 6, don't die. It's kind of the
Don't have lane
game.
issues, get to the objectives, front to back correctly, get good wards out, make sure you have your Mega Gnar built, like communicate on your engages. Like this is a team comp where you got to play it correct from a fundamental level to find a win.
Yep, and of course the Graves, kind of the thing we didn't talk as much about, but definitely an exciting champion there for Jenkins. Was blind, but I think can still get plenty of traction in the 1v1. Curious to see if CLG are maybe shifting some of their focus to trying to carry towards one of their solo lanes and let, the Jinx and Tahm Kench just chill out in the Leona lane. I don't think there's much attention you need to pay there. Obviously, if you see an angle you like, you can go for it, and Contractz has been, feel like, often encouraged to go bottom lane, which makes sense again given the strength of the duo, even though they are new to the LCS, or newer to the LCS in Poome's case. But we'll see. Definitely going to be a different dynamic in the early game here. CLG kind of out for blood in the first 10 to 15, and TSM, like you said, just trying to make sure everything goes right, which is a good test, but if you fail, you fail pretty quickly.
Yeah, it can be tough, and that's why I'm excited to see how the latest iteration of El Clasico plays out here between CLG and TSM as they sprint onto the rift. Man, it looks funny.
Viktor is just going for
look
it.
at this zoomed out mode. This is kind of cool.
Ooh.
And this is new for me.
Look at that. Oh, Contractz is zooming. All right, we're
back to normal.
I don't think we could have caused the whole game like that, but we could have tried. I don't know.
It felt weirdly disconnected, you know?
I feel like textures weren't loaded or something, even though they were. It's like, this game just looks too different.
Yeah.
You're missing the, like, the little tilt of the isometric point of view.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. A little bit of an invade potentially for CLG, baiting Jenkins and maybe the rest of the team in there. Or just trying to get some advanced vision down. Got to protect Contractz, though. Jenkins going to push Huni out. Palafox and Keaiduo trading some stuff. Not a ton of focus, though. Yeah.
For the Viktor with first strike, though.
Ooh, true.
Keaiduo is loving it.
Unfortunately, not enough to go back and buy an item.
Nah.
The first strike, nice adaptation. Not what you usually see out of the Viktors. You can see it sometimes into melee matchups, which is why I like it here. You're going to get a lot of poke, a lot of activations of it. And then in team fights, with how you get 3 seconds worth of gold after you activate it, if you get it off, with Viktor being such a high burst and DPS champion, if you ever get like a EQR at the start of a fight, yeah, you're going to get a lot of gold very quickly. So I do like that adaptation. It is a little riskier because sometimes you go, you know, phase rush or something that's going to be a little bit more defensive, a little bit more aggressive in lane, either if you want like airy or something, just for straight bullying. This one, not quite that way, but still has a lot of upsides.
All right, well, of note, Contractz did start on the top side of the map, so looks like he's going to be passing down towards the bottom side, and is the opposite here for Spica, who started on the blue, as Poome has gotten very aggressive early on up against Yursan and Tactical. Huni with the quick jump already with that level 2 now going mega, means he wins the trade very easily there up against Jenkins, who does have the fleet. A little bit extra healing as he dings 2, should be A-OK. Poome at it again though, gets stunned, but Tahm Kench just doesn't care.
Yeah, gets the level 2 advantage, zones him off the wave a little bit, and Tahm Kench level 1, very frustrating for other melee champions. You can't really go toe-to-toe with him. The tongue lash slow, then the auto follow-ups and all that will make it very dangerous for you. So Leona, Yursan, and Tactical backing off the wave, respecting it, I think is the right choice.
We'll see if it's kind of the opposite end of what I was saying, or it's instead of playing the solo lanes, Jenkins just feels comfortable on the island, and then your mid lane and your jungle play to the side of the map that we know CLG love to play to. I mean, Luger and Poome early on already pushing the lane in, getting some nice damage done here.
And this is what I wanted to see, because this was one of the most hyped up parts of the CLG new lineup, their bot lane. I want to see them play aggressive, try and build as much of a lead as they can. In the lock-in tournament, they were 2v2 killing a lot of bot lanes. It feels like that has dropped off a fair amount in the recent weeks. And I want to see them trying it back to that point, especially with how much TSM's team comp is oriented around scaling and team fighting. Spica finishing his clear from the top side. Like we said, he doesn't have a ton of easy lanes to get to. Yes, your Gnar can maybe set you up, your Leona can maybe set you up, but they're not super clear avenues for the early game, whereas like Lee Sin and Sylas very much can hop on top of Viktor and kill him if they find the right angle. But nice freeze here by Keaiduo.
Yeah, Keaiduo's landing is, again, exceptional. Even though he has played so many games of Viktor, definitely navigates these champions really well. The Palafox in a bit of a pickle, but oh, this is just brutal, actually.
I mean, he's not in too bad of a spot. Lee Sin is around. I think they're going to go for just a...
feels bad.
It feels bad, but the wave's going to build up and start pushing back now. He's going to get a recall off. Grab Dorn's Ring, a couple cheaper items. TP back into lane, most likely. And it's going to end up pushing away anyway, so he's fine to just kind of take this one. Doesn't want to risk Contractz showing himself. I feel like there's a little bit of pressure for Contractz, just letting him keep go on his clear and don't call him mid.
Yeah, and as you can see, Keaiduo was like, all right, he's not TPing, I'm pushing the wave. Does get it in, is going to deny maybe one, but not even. Palafox going to get there right on time.
Nice.
And now Keaiduo is going to go ahead, take his reset, and hold on to his TP.
Yep.
That's how it works.
It was a cannon wave, so on that point, it was easy for Palafox to end up getting it. Not needing to TP back after all. And now we'll see where they go from there. I want to see if they actually try and chain combo ganks mid lane. Palafox, like we were saying, has been one of the bright spots for CLG through most of their games. Rough one last time, but has been able to find plays, has been able to find advantages for them, and does seem to work well with Contractz, both them wanting to be aggressive. I hope to see them try and pull something off. And for Huni, I feel like maybe the pressure is on him, like you said, kind of one of the veterans, him and Spica being the two that should be able to make a lot of plays happen.
Well, Contractz going for it. I don't think he got much of the camp, but he is getting damage out onto Spica with the Conqueror. Palafox again, pushing up aggressively to try and help enable that play. So Keaiduo is going to go ahead and meet this wave. Should be up in CS if he gets most of it or all of it, but I do like that Palafox is thinking more about, you know what, I'm trying to pair up with my jungler. That's kind of my big job here.
Yeah, and Huni, for what it's worth, winning up on the top side, getting a lot of pressure down, getting wards out for himself as well, and with Contractz showing, it's actually still good for TSM in some ways if you have this pushing lane that you can start getting turret plays, start getting the Demolish procs off. I'm sure both of them will be going the Hullbreaker build, which is taking over the meta.
Poome is just walking into the brush. CLG playing nice and aggressive here in the bottom lane. It's 10 CS ahead for Luger, actually. So doing a nice job here, keeping the aggression up here in the bottom lane. Have been pretty isolated. Neither junglers had a visit, so that's obviously going to be good news for the lane that wants to play aggressive.
Oh, might be getting bait in here. You might see a 2v2 mid. Both 6s on mids, no 6s on jungles.
Palafox, though, of course, can steal Hecarim ulti. Nice and powerful. Keaiduo burns his. Out of mana for the Viktor, though. Palafox now sees what's up. Steals the ulti, and Contractz is lying in wait. But with the wave being pushed in, there's not much of an angle here for CLG, I don't think.
A little surprised to see Palafox ward that one out. I thought he was trying to bait a potential wraparound for Contractz. It is very dicey because if the Hecarim gets on top of you, the Lee Sin just ends up out of range. But didn't end up doing anything with that. They had advanced knowledge that he was in that brush because there was that ward on the Raptor camp. And so let Spica get out of there alive, and instead they just kind of control some vision control around the top side, getting that Rift Trail, but they're still looking mid. You can see how bad they want this.
Ooh, goes in, causes the flash. Really nice, actually, from Palafox. Use the other end of the chain to get back out as well.
Keaiduo giving the respect flash, saying I don't want to get chain ganked here, but the fact that you get the flash out is still a win for CLG. Now they can find some repeat ganks, as well as have some priority from the mid lane. There's no flash. They can now spill this over into the bot lane, and where they already had some advantages from Poome's lane.
That knockup barely hit Yursan, but that is a brutal hit there for Poome as Yursan's forced to flash away. Did use the Ignite on Poome's side, but a worthy trade there for CLG.
I like so far the control shown by both teams thus far. CLG has been flipping a lot of their games. They're very boom or bust. TSM has been making some mistakes as well with Huni on the roaming smite top meta. And here, you just see some good fundamental approach to what their game plans were. We saw them want to attack mid lane, and then they're also using their bot lane pressure to control blue buffs and starting to try and make some plays happen for CLG. And we'll see if they can find another angle onto mid lane now with the flash down for about another 4 minutes.
Jenkins in trouble though here. Does suspect Spica. I think actually spots him with that ward there. Now, absolutely confirms the Gromp as Spica is going to go ahead and take it. Smites it, so Jenkins can't even attempt to steal. He's going to go back to the wave here. Maybe feels like he's got Poome coming up here to the top half of the map, so feels a bit safe as Meganar's wearing off. But definitely a little dicey there for Jenkins, at least in the CS department. Huni doing a nice job there.
He is playing the weak side, though. You can kind of tell that Contractz is not giving any love to Jenkins. And this is what we kind of expected when this roster was put together. Strong bot lane, proactive mid jungle who are going to be playing around that. And Jenkins was the weak side guy. In the lock-in tournament, I actually gave a lot of criticism to Jenkins for how he was playing these weak sides out. And he would die in situations like that just a couple months ago. Now, he is clearly respecting, hey, my jungler just showed bot side. Huni's going to be up here. I'm on weak side. I'm here to collect farm as much as I can while not dying and giving them an in for this game where they can find a big advantage. And I think this has been a good showing so far for Jenkins, even though you're down CS, the other guy's got some turret plating. Like, this is what your job kind of is.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought maybe CLG had options to play to the side lane, but definitely not what CLG's game plan has been this time around. It is the go-to, which again, I think is perfectly good. That is the most obvious plan, likely one of their best as they're still trying to figure things out as a team. This does mean, though, that Huni is going to have this Rift Herald, but now what can CLG do on the other side? Poome with the insta-flash out of there because they're going to turn it back around. Poome going to be forced to pop the shield, but Tactical almost made him pay.
Yeah, bit of a mistake there. We see a 2v2 on the top side.
Contractz looking for the kill. Oh, going in way aggressive, and he gets it! First blood with the red buff burns it down, but now Huni's here, and Contractz going to keep trying to fight, but doesn't have the energy left. Buff transfer complete.
I was mistaken. I thought that was a 2v2. That was Contractz trying to go hero mode. Forced Spica off the Rift Herald. Not able to do it. Spica still found that one and grabbed it right before he died, but a 1-for-1 by Contractz. Not too bad. Also forced out. Huni's flash got him down pretty low, which buys some space for Jenkins. As we see some more trading the bot lane, and a little bit of over-aggression by Poome. Nice idea to tunnel in, but ending up in front of the turret in range for Leona to chain CC was very dicey. Had good mechanics to flash away and not actually end up getting locked up under the turret.
Yeah, for clarity, this would have been a great 2v2.
Yeah, I thought, that's why I was like, Contractz must be 2v2 because it looks like it's going well for him. But it's actually just a really nice QRQ combo as we see. Hold on, I don't have time for that.
No time. Palafox is dropping the base on Keaiduo. W hits, Poome is there, and that is going to be a kill on the 2 on TSM side. Cannot re-engage fast enough.
Yeah, that's the flash punish we were talking about. A little bit of pressure around the bot side of the map, and a roam by Poome able to find that kill. Looked like Palafox set that one up, to be fair, as well.
Nicely done. That's what you want on the Sylas. Get out of the lane, get aggressive, and steal a good ulti. Click on him.
Yeah, it's just dangerous for Viktor to leave lane. That's why a lot of times it's Jenkins. Whoa. Gotta respect the double buff.
Yeah, careful there. Good care shown as bottom lane Yursan. No ulti after try proc, but it just doesn't matter. Poome with the kill. Eats Contractz just to make sure. Tactical now low, and Luger finds the final rocket they needed.
Oh my god, out of nowhere, CLG explode to a 1,500 gold advantage off the back of some good plays from the bot lane there. Poome, after finding the kill in combination with Palafox mid, instantly finds another one in the bot lane. That was super clean, and this is what we were hoping for their bot lane. Luger being the recipient, getting one of those kills, but Poome, pretty bloodthirsty himself getting killed.
Lock-in Luger may be back. Took a couple weeks, but CLG may be finding a stride here in this game as Contractz takes the Infernal Drake off the map as well.
Alrighty, so 2 turret placed down the bot side, getting that dragon in the back pocket feels good. We'll have to see if Jenkins can keep weathering the storm. It is getting a little dicey without his flash now, and fortunately for him, Huni does not have his either, but you can see them bringing a little bit more resources up. Poome made the rotation, dropped a little bit of vision for him, hit the blast cone, kind of showed some presence to make sure that he wasn't getting dove, and can potentially probably TP back into the lane here since they're not using him in that way. He's just there to hold the Gnar, not really trying to make flanking Graves TP plays. I mean, not his strength.
Where are you going to go? It's only 40 minutes yet. I mean, yeah, you can wait 2 more. Spica's here now to dive you. Oh, that's a beautifully timed ulti from Huni, but Contractz is here right on time. Can't cancel the Herald, of course. It's been a long way since you could do that. Channels in a second as Contractz is trying to chase them, but he's going to have to settle for the Rift Herald instead. The charge goes off, though, and the first tower goes to TSM.
Yeah, Huni getting a little over-aggressive there. I think there was a chance he thought that Spica and him would combo together for a dive, but Spica was not in range. Instead, just focus down the turret and get a little bit of chunk since you're not going to need that ult anytime soon anyways.
Jenkins walking up the Spica here, knows that Huni's left, does have TP, as Poome and Yursan do meet briefly there in the river. Palafox also continuing to duck out of lane whenever he can, clearly has the push, so Keaiduo is just forced back to his tower for the most part here as CLG are staying proactive, which is always good to see. It's Gold Drinker done for Contractz, overall ward he is. And Jenkins, once again, the weak side reflexes will be put to the test. This time, though, you don't have a tower.
A little bit more difficult as we see a potential dive being set up here by CLG.
4v2. Luger goes in, pops the cleanse. Yursan with very nice defensive play. Poome getting low, but Luger still firing back, and Contractz missing that Q is going to call off the play.
Whew, almost made that work, just not quite coordinated well enough. Contractz was too far away. Poome gets caught under turret a little bit again there. Doesn't have to, you know, blow too many summoners or anything, doesn't have any up, but does get them enough control to have Contractz steal the second blue buff away, I think, for Keaiduo. I don't think he's gotten a blue buff this game, unfortunately.
Feels bad, man. Left with just your own base mana pool and a little page of a book. As Luger still playing aggressively here. Does have Devour. Poome's going to move in, gets it. Spica down here as well, but Contractz still waiting out the play. Kicks him away defensively. Probably a smart move there. Hits the Q. Not going to go ahead and take that one, though.
Yeah, a little dicey there with how low Luger and Poome already were from the earlier failed dive attempt. If they wanted to go for that, Tactical had flash and could potentially get a lot of cleanup there because he was still relatively healthy. So I like the decision to kite that one out. But overall, I think, you know, at a 1.2k gold advantage for CLG, they're feeling good, but I feel like the onus is still on them to keep the pressure up. Keaiduo, despite that one death, still scaling quite well. He's basically even with the pace of the game. Everyone's around 130 CS, so he has not been knocked out of it despite the pressure that has been going on around him. And so if you keep, at this point, you know, eventually the scaling will end up in TSM's favor. So CLG need to find some more ways to keep exploding this game open. Want to grab the bot lane turret, want to start winning some Drake fights.
Yep. Drake up in a minute 45. Bottom tower should be relatively straightforward, but you do have to actually, like, finish that play, right? It doesn't just, like, get low and then explode on its own.
And you can feel them, like, they know they want to do that. They've flipped the bot a bunch of times. It's just that they're not syncing up quite perfectly to actually find one of these kills and then explode the game open through the bot lane. But they're not in trouble yet either. Again, another roam down through the bot river into the bot jungle to put a potential flank away. But Huni is actually the one coming down here now as they put their bot lane mid and the Viktor is actually top lane.
Yeah, and Huni, level 11, feeling pretty good. But definitely can't save off that pressure in the 1v3. Palafox looking again onto Tactical. Everfrost barely going to miss. Lets the ulti go. Contractz still going to finish it off. Executes so easy. Kicks him into the Gold Drinker and Tactical goes down.
That was the most, like, the least committal assassination I've ever seen. We'll see if they can find a second one here or if it's just going to result in the Rift Herald.
Luger with the ulti ready to go. Is walking up here. He's going to start to pressure mid. Contractz feeling confident enough just to 1v1 this, but Spica has stayed in this brush for very long.
X-Flash coming in.
TP in. Oh, Spica looking to try and spring the trap. Poome there with the quick devour. W's away, gets Contractz to safety. Again, this is still a 5v4 as Contractz goes back in, but thinks better of it. Jenkins with a smoke screen, gets a big near side, but No one's gone through. His tactical is respawned.
Yeah, Jinx is rotated over as well. She's going to get some chip damage down the turret while this is going on, and Tactical is coming out from the base.
Gets the tower. Basically still a 4v4 though around the Rift Herald. But Luger now joining the fight. Huni here as well. Not sure if they want the fight or the Herald. Contractz looks like he's trying to finish it off, but he's going to look for the smite. Finds it, but can't grab the eye just yet. Jenkins walking forward, trying to get it. Keaiduo with the defensive ulti. Palafox steals the Hecarim. Huni looks for the scoop, only finds Poome. Spica's ulti misses. And now Contractz going back through, and Huni's going to be the target. Palafox flash ulti finishes off the Gnar, goes back in, finds the double. Yursan falls as well. Perfect play from the Palafox. Sylas is going to give CLG everything.
CLG kite that fight out perfectly. The last members of TSM just barely able to escape for their lives. Actually, Palafox not
Onto
done
the
yet.
triple is going to find it. Delayed triple still good. Spica with a thumbs up. Palafox with the second kill.
Palafox popping off that fight, stole the Hecarim ult at the very beginning of it, held it for the perfect time after CLG kited TSM out. They end up getting the Rift Herald Eye as well, which was stalled out on the ground. They finished the top turret off, and that 1,000 gold lead that I wanted them to expand is now 5,000 gold at around 17 minutes.
And it wasn't the bot lane they needed. That was the academic one. It was Luger pressuring mid lane. It was CLG waiting for the perfect fight around the Herald until this play happened.
And I can see why TSM think they can go here. There's no kick. There's no ult on the Tahm Kench either, so there's no safety if this engage actually works. Tahm Kench can't save anyone. So that's why they want to force it, and they're just a little split up here where Huni's building his Gnar, they're trying to slow play it, they're protecting the eye, and finally Spica's gonna think, okay, everyone's channeling into that Piz. Hold on, we don't have time. We don't have time.
Oh goodness, Palafox just dropping the ulti on the Keaiduo. The Rift Herald's been channeled that they did get in that play that we were trying to get a look at, but unfortunately, like Mark said, running out of time, just like TSM in this game.
And this is CLG's identity, this split. They are very, very aggressive, and when that goes well, they blow games up. They don't give you time for replays. They don't give you time to break down the smart things they did. They're just gonna go make another play.
Yep, Palafox go kill. Go click at some people with Sylas ulti there as they do crack
Click some heads.
the tier 2. Yeah. If only Caitlyn was in the game, we could steal ace in the hole. Oh well.
So now this is a lot of pressure for TSM here. The Baron is a potential not even up yet right now. They still have the mid lane turret that looks like it's going to be grabbed as well. It's going up above a 6,000 gold lead, and it just feels like there's no way for them to really contest this. They're going to try and make side lane plays on Jenkins.
Weak side Jenkins at it again. No flash. Speaking with the knockback there. Jenkins, though, fighting his way out of it. Not too bad, but it is going to fall at the end of the day. But hey, that's one kill for TSM. At least they get some gold back.
All right, they end up finding that single kill, a little bit of gold. And on this time, CLG's focusing down the dragon. Can't even get the blue buff with it. You feel how difficult it is for TSM. They only got that kill because they sacked the mid lane turret and Spica wasn't there, trying to defend your posture or anything. And so while they do get that kill, it came at the cost of the mid lane turret. It came at the cost of the dragon. Yes, they probably couldn't have protected those anyways, so you can't really fault them for saying, let's just go make a play onto Jenkins. But it is a very small advantage that they found. It's just finally back below 6,000 gold. Hey, not too bad.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like to Jenkins' credit, when the game was closer and those situations were happening, he wasn't dying. Like he finally gives one up because it's like, there's no way they're not defending their turrets, right?
Yeah, I mean, at some point you go, all right, you got me. Good for you. And he almost still kited it to his bot lane to potentially find a kill there. Is he trying to get him on the recall? It's the most Gigabrain stuff when someone's channeling a recall and you shoot at the Nexus instead of where they're recalling.
Oh yeah.
Trying to snipe that kill, except he's at full health.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Just wanted to see the scenery. I think he was probably trying to cancel Tactical's recall, but
Yeah, I just didn't know where he was.
Luger, like, doesn't need it, right? Like, what's going to happen? There's no Dragon up for 4 minutes. CLG already have those two. We got Baron in 15, but they can just waltz over there. They don't need Jinx ulti for that one.
Yeah, I mean, TSM's trying to split the map and just get some gold in their pocket, They know CLG is going to be moving up to the top side, so they overloaded the bot side, get Huni a little bit more gold. He is fairly rich. He is in there as, I think, the fourth richest member in the game. So he's in there, but it's just so difficult for them to find an in. Huni's going to have to play super well around the next fight where he's going to get a huge Gnar ult and really set the rest of the team up. Because if he's not able to do that, you can expect for CLG to just keep diving.
Yep, and CLG have already shown that, like, they can definitely team fight in these spots. I mean, they're up 6,000 gold, makes things a lot easier, but Palafox has navigated these team fights so expertly with this Sylas, which is a pick of his. that I'm glad is showing up a little bit more, but this is a very bold Baron. I like this. You said CLG are aggressive. This is a very aggressive way to kick this section of the game off.
Yeah, it's basically on spawn. Now they're going to turn off.
Yep. Oh, good ulti again. They steal a Contractz with a kick, but not quite enough. Contractz goes back in, gets clipped by the Hecarim ulti, and Yursan is going to make sure he goes down. A step too far for CLG as their aggression will cost them a kill.
Oh boy, that's exactly what I was about to say was, even though you're very strong damage-wise, you're not that tanky yet. Contractz only has basically the Gore Drinker for tankiness and then his Merc Treads. And so Baron, if you take an extended time, will actually mess you up during that. And so they tried to get the quick turn off, didn't find the initial pick-off attempt, and then there was no one else flanking from behind. Luger didn't have his ultimate, maybe would have been helpful there. And finding a kill, potentially. Didn't have that one up, so it was easy for TSM to kite out after the initial pick attempt failed.
And as you were noting with the goal before, right? Yes, CLG have a lead, but most of the lead is concentrated on mid and bot lane. It's Luger and Palafox, and obviously Luger is the heavier DPS end of the CLG comp this go-around. Palafox is more for team fighting, more for utility, more for engage. And yes, Sylas does a ton of damage in your face, like slapping you around with chains, but it's Luger that needs to finish off a lot of those kills. So yeah, not in range, without an ulti, a little tricky to try and finish that one off.
Yeah, I mean, for CLG, it wasn't too big of a misstep. It was just the one kill handed over. You take a breather, you say, okay, we're getting a little hyphy. You know, our dragon stacking plan's not going too bad. We have the Cloud Dragon, our third one, coming up in a minute and a half. We can reset for that, see if TSM can test us there. Assuming TSM doesn't, that's when you start having to figure out how you want to execute around Baron, because there's no more objectives up on the map except for the inhib turrets. I don't think Luger to actually... he's just having his gun warmed up, you know? I don't know. He just wanted to see.
Yep. Couple taps, lost a bit of health, but it's all right. Tattoo here pushing the way back out here with the old flamethrower. As Jenkins is getting the side lane push here. Keaiduo going to go ahead and catch that wave, but TSM, not a lot of space here in the middle of the map to work with, as CLG seem content to wait for their third dragon. There are ways into this game for TSM, but it's going to be a tough one to climb. They're still down a very significant amount of gold, and CLG, they're back to Baron.
Yeah, a lot of vision control, though. TSM is 100% aware this is going on. They see them run into the pit, and they know they want to contest this. They have all their abilities up, most of their summoners as well.
Palafox not here, by the way. He's actually TPing into this fight instead. CLG are not pulling off this just yet. Trying to really run the long con here on this play. Where's the TP for Palafox? Has to be used now. Apparently not. There it is. A little late, but it's the flank they're looking for. Now they're almost close to a flip. They pull away. Yursan with the ulti, but Palafox has the angle. Zooms on in. Which ulti is he going to take? Everfrost doesn't quite get the slows he wanted. Palafox gets a Leona ulti. Jenkins just blows up Yursan and barely missing the chain onto Huni, who flashes away.
Man, I like the way Palafox played that. A little slower than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to go crazy, chain in there, just start trying to AoE, but actually just tries to land the root, let his team poke them down, let the Jinx land some rockets, and then once they get low, then steal the Leona ultimate. So I really like that play from Palafox, setting up this Baron now.
Yep, still on the potential flip though. And Spica can get into the pit here. Does have ulti, can go around the back here. CLG are looking to try and finish it off here. I think they're happy to take their chances. Not yet though. Ulti dropped there by Viktor. Spica still hunting around the side of CLG. They want to kick him out of there. Spica going back in, and he's stolen the Baron. Contract's going to kick him. Spica will suffer a death for it, but that is well worth it for TSM.
I could just see it coming. Keaiduo put his Viktor ultimate on top to take it down. They combo with a laser and a Hecarim ult over the wall. That is so much damage from the TSM side being thrown in, combined with the smite, that I actually think that they were out damaging CLG in that Baron situation. So you could effectively think of that like TSM was the one controlling the Baron there. They actually get the steal. Well done by them to kind of stabilize this game, potentially the gold lead dropping steadily with that. Maybe they can grab some turrets off the back of it with the Baron empower buff as well. The only little prize that CLG gets as a consolation is their third dragon.
Yep, and it is Cloud Soul. It's still a good soul to get, but you don't get it just yet. Been delayed in that front. CLG couldn't find a turn they liked, I guess, on the back end of that play. It is as you said, Mark. Great TSM Baron control and very good coordination, as we'll watch the preview from Spica's side.
Oh boy, we'll see where he wants to go. This looks a little early for the smite steal, because they have to wrap back around.
We'll get there.
Victor's gonna ult over the wall. We'll see how long, because it's around 2,000 health. There, you see the Viktor put the
wait a second.
He puts that over there, then it's taking it down. Here comes they also throw the Aphelios thing over. Wow, that's just a really well-coordinated attempt where they have the Viktor laser, you have the Aphelios throwing his gun over the wall, then you have Spica going over with his alt smite. got pretty close, and they stole that one away.
Nicely done. Still down, as you said, but TSM may have paused the game long enough here to let that scaling, let that gold kick into the levels they need it in order to try and take over here. CLG, it feels like they pressed their advantage too much and then maybe undercorrected.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or overcorrected.
I mean, this is like the first time I've seen them on their half of the map in so long, it feels like. So it is, even if the gold lead doesn't grow or shrink or anything from here, it is at least stabilizing for TSM and allowing them to try and farm up more. That was just a really heads-up call by how they played that one out. A lot of the time, smite steals, the smites are the biggest chunk of damage, so they're the ones who secure it, but it's more about who's throwing more damage in that situation. How do you compress all of it into the smallest window possible? And that was TSM there, and that might be the foothold they need to get back in this game, because it was looking bad. I'm sure Reggie was sweating, wondering what he's going to have to give up. but now, with TSM trying to scale with the Baron buff.
And if TSM win, what does Spica get from Reggie? That's the real question.
Whatever you're going to have to sell, give half of it to Spica.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. TSM lining it up here. Only 20 seconds left on the Baron, but they'll look for the dive here on the Palafox, who has not died yet. Still worth a bit of extra money. CLG rotating over though, and Palafox is already looking to drop the ulti down. Does use it.
Oh, Yursan.
Damage, but Yursan, oh no. Caught out of position. Just left for dead here by TSM. Not sure how he didn't get the exit, but Luger's going to take that extra gold.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake there. Leona was caught in the far flank position because she was going for kind of a wraparound on the turret. And it felt like they just didn't respect the fact that CLG was going to rotate over from the mid lane. And then she had so far to try and get safety there. It ends up just going down by Yursan. Bit of a mistake by the rookie. Gives CLG some breathing room because that looked like an objective bounty that was about to go in TSM's favor. I like how Palafox just kind of dropped some damage on tactical to make sure he couldn't get another auto or two off.
Yeah, Palafox still a behemoth right now in these team fights alongside Luger. 3 items for both of these carries. Actually, Last Whisper on top as well for Luger, so ready to fire here on the Jinx, and Cosmic Drive done for Palafox means that ready to rumble for CLG as they're almost back to the lead they had before. It was, you know, at 6K near the peak. We're floating around 4.5, 5 right now.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this is one of the times where I will potentially criticize a Hullbreaker build. You're so built for the 5v5s as we see just some setup around the dragon in a minute and a half that you would think Huni would want to prioritize the team fighting, how the rest of the team is built. It makes it a lot more threatening in the early and mid game, as you kind of saw. It's such a strong early game item, as Jenkins should be able to get out of this safely enough. Yeah, not too worried. That was never TSM's game plan, though. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna win the game through split pushing, because now you're looking at the items. It's actually Graves who's further ahead in his build path than the Gnar is, despite the Gnar having a great early game.
Look at Luger, is just playing frontline. Throwing rockets at tactical.
With how fed he is too, that's why you wouldn't mind being a little bit tankier in actual team fight situations for your Gnar, because now you're not going to get any of those resists for this 3-item Jinx that you were just highlighting.
All right, well, a minute until the Cloud Soul is up, but CLG are trying to break through the front door. An old but effective strategy here from CLG.
Yeah, just trying to keep them pushed up. CLG has stabilized for the most part. The gold lead is about back to what it was before the Baron throw, honestly. You can see that they have bot and mid wave pushed. Jenkins is working on getting the top one as well. They're going to fall back to Vision in a second here, and they're just trying to chunk out TSM anytime they walk forward and try and place these wards down.
Palafox, it does pop the Everfrost, but it's cooling off pretty quickly. So it doesn't have to worry too much about that. And Contractz is again fishing for angles. Doesn't find one on the tactical, who does have flash and heal, to be fair. So going to be a tough one to crack, but might as well look, because again, you are just buying time, buying space until you fall back to the soul and force TSM to fight you.
Yeah, just really unfortunate that Keaiduo can't get his death cap completed before this fight. Unlucky amount of gold.
Ooh, I like this. Onto Jenkins trying to find a kill early, but Poome ready to save him. Now Palafox ready with the Leona ulti. Contractz looks for the kick, barely missed it onto tactical. Kicks him just barely the wrong way, as Palafox is going to have to dip. Gravity Gun though is going to find Contractz and Poome, I think, but it is not let go there as tactical let the ultimate rip, as Huni now TPing back through. He's going to try and reinforce behind the rest of TSM as the rumble for the dragon is on.
A lot of ults used there, a couple flashes as well. Probably favoring TSM a little bit here because they still have their massive team fight ults in Huni's, which he just used on Contractz, and I was going to say Spica's.
And now Palafox also has a Hecarim ulti to use there. Huni actually still battling the rest of CLG. Dragon is low, but I think they just want to take the team fight win instead. Palafox running interference on everyone else. Huni low now in mega form. He's going to have to flash away, but TSM are going to get away with it, just barely. Huni
no!
is going to live, and they shut down Palafox after he dives in to try and finish off the kill.
TSM Huni behind enemy lines, distracting the entirety of CLG around the sole point. They try and kill him instead of focusing down the dragon. TSM steals that one away, and then he's still able to kite it out and baits Palafox into trying to finish him off. TSM somehow come out of that situation ahead.
Pretty big shutdown given over as well, and even though CLG still hold the gold lead, the death cap is now done, and it's starting to feel like that gold lead's just not gonna matter as much.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you stumble once, okay, we're fine. You stumble twice, oh, it's getting a little dicey. And I think this is not the backbreaker mistake by CLG yet, but the next one could be. That's the second objective in a row that they have made a mistake around. One, getting the Baron that low to allow the smite steal, then here, just losing focus on what the priority was. It should have been the soul. It should have been ignore Huni. I don't care. He just ulted the jungler. Great. Contractz, leave him. He didn't kill you. Go back over the wall and try and focus on getting to the dragon somehow, because Huni does not have the damage to really threaten killing your relatively tanky Lee Sin.
No ulti right now for Spica, but this is a very aggressive start to this Baron. Ulti's gonna hit Contractz and knock him back through. That's so much damage with Poome. Plucks him out of the team fight with the ulti, and Palafox around the side is going to try and make the play. Steals the Leona ulti this time, but Baron initiative is going to go to TSM as Palafox lets the ulti rip.
AP Leona ult checking in. Just
Pretty good.
Dropping some damage there, trying to scare him off the Baron. CLG was in a bit of a risky position there with Contractz almost dying. Nice save by Poome. And a couple ults down for both teams now. Expect to see a little bit more focus on getting the waves reset now, trying to establish some control for CLG.
CLG definitely like getting kills, as Contractz is just chasing Huni again, but now Spica's gonna wrap around, but a good flash and hop out of Contractz is gonna leave Yursan to the front lines, and Luger is able to finish it off, and now they're going up. Palafox sets it up, and Luger knocks it down. A double kill for the Jinx as Spica dodges the ulti, and CLG are back to Baron.
All right, they bait TSM into picking a fight in the mid lane, but they were focusing down the Tahm Kench, and they were able to hit the Hecarim instead. A much better priority target for CLG to finish off. Gonna grab their first Baron of the game. It's been getting a little dicey, but this could be the final piece they needed to close this game out.
Seems like Luger is going to push the team over the finish line alongside the aggression of the rest of CLG as I watch this one again.
I thought that they were just gonna go push these waves. Huni and Spica try to react to Contractz going in. I think it's a bit of an overreaction, ulting in there by Spica. Yursan is on top of Poome. There's not really any person that's a big threat that they're focusing down. Cool, you killed the Tahm Kench, but it cost your entire team their lives, and so bit of an overextension there by TSM when I thought that they were just happy to have gotten the Baron pressure off them for a little bit.
I also respect that Palafox had a full Dark Seal, died, and then bought a Magi. That is supreme confidence in your own ability.
From here on out, everything's going my way.
Also, Sylas stealing Gnar looked absolutely disgusting there. Just like dashes for days, Everfrosts you, and then knocks you into the wall, and you're dead basically by the time that ends, because it does a lot of damage too.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see the Gnar come in after the Sylas. I mean, Sylas loves playing with Gnar because you don't need to build any rage up.
Yep.
You don't need to wait until you're in the right form. You just have that available.
You're always angry.
That is the secret. Now they have the 4-1 split push in the mid lane. Jenkins down the bot side. Turret already dropped there, and TSM going to be corralled in their base.
Keaiduo just lets the ulti rip, but Luger heal him back up, looking to rocket people in the face. 4.5 item Jinx, almost full build there for Luger, as Jenkins is babysitting the Baron cannons, and Huni is trying to clear them out, but it's a struggle. He's losing the wall right now, but I think he's going to win.
I mean, he's pretty tanky too. Those super creeps hurt, but just chunking him down. Mid lane is in the bigger threat with Luger able to walk up.
And there's the ulti again, Luger! Just a couple rockets into the back, and Tactical's erased from the rift. Keaiduo is going to be the next one forfeit, and CLG, with a minute left on Baron, they're going to march through and end this game. And Reggie, get the eBay account ready, buddy. It's time to sell things off.
TSM trying to see if they can maybe find the last stand, but it's not going to happen. Palafox finding the setup on that play. Luger slam dunking that one home. And CLG are going to find their second win.
Some missteps here and there, but it's CLG winning at the end as Luger dominates TSM to bring them the win.
CLG getting another dub in El Clasico. One more win in their column. It's got to feel good. One, just finding your second win of the season. Two, putting it down against the other team that you were tied with in the standings. And three, it's TSM.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good. This is a great day for the CLG guys. And as a team, all 5 members, I think, played well. This is one of the first times this split where all 5 members contributed to the win in a pretty positive way.
Absolutely. You're starting to see I mean, I think we already had the blueprint for what CLG could look like, but just kind of consistently let down by a misstep here and there, an overplay and underplay. It's weird. It's like we have two teams that love to play aggressive, right? Golden Guardians and CLG, which people coming into the season didn't put a whole lot of stock in. For Golden Guardians, they knew how to get ahead. They just kept like kind of botching the mid game. For CLG, it was like they also knew what they needed to do seemingly at every stage. It was just the execution that was lacking, or someone was letting the team down. Today, that didn't happen. And it can only get better if CLG can continue to be that consistent.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how explosive they are in a lot of these games where they find huge leads early on, and it's just like, can they close them out? They took down Cloud9 with how explosive they can be. This game here, they win it, but they still made some mistakes in the mid game. I think the coaches are going to have a lot of material to go over the game with them, but at least you get the win. That's got to feel great.
I feel like every CLG game is like just great tape for them, right? And that's a good trend. Assuming you can fix and smooth those things out, there was a lot of good here for CLG. This is the kind of thing, the reason why people were excited about this team. It's like a lot of players that haven't got a particularly fair shot, a very exciting academy player that's been dominating in that league, and in some cases now, hilariously, a rookie turned beloved veteran, now captain of this team, that is, I think, starting to finally find his form and his sync with his team.
Yeah, I mean, Contractz was a huge part of getting that game off the ground. Him and Palafox were really the playmakers early on, then exploiting the bot lane. But, you know, Luger and Poome were already kind of winning. And like you said, this is the blueprint that, you know, CLG wants to have going forward. It's just about executing on that more consistently.
I would rather they continue the mindless aggression and then figure out where they need to correct than just like not try these things, right? At some point, like, it's silly, it's a meme, you got to test those limits.
No, I'm excited to see what they do from here as well. Hopefully they can keep picking up some wins.
All right, well, we'll see what happens as we head over now to the stage where we've got LeTigress, who's standing by with CLG's Luger in a Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Pastrytime, welcoming many faces to the stage for the first time, and Luger joining us for the interview. So first of all, I do want to know, how much do you internalize the CLG versus TSM rivalry?
It was excited to play against TSM. It's a hype match for everyone know. Yeah, I mean, it's good to play against TSM and we shit on them. So yeah.
Love it, love to hear it. And it did feel like CLG had a strong start there. Some difficulty there in the mid game though, a pretty impressive steal. What were your thoughts?
Which steal?
Or when Spica came in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we didn't like too much think they like the match. Like, I think they just burst with the Viktor ulti. Unlike E, I mean, someone focused too. And yeah, kind of weird play, but I remember. Yeah.
But 2-0 for CLG overall, right? In the end, you did pull it through. With this momentum you're building, what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of the team overall?
Is our
with
team?
CLG.
I mean, kind of like before split start, I think we kind of play bad. I think if we know our limits and our strong side, I think we can win more games with CLG. And I think, yeah, I believe my teammates, my coach staff, my team, yeah.
How much do you believe in yourself? Because a lot of people believed in you as a strong bot laner coming onto the squad.
I think with Poome, we have a good spot from like bots, like against like any bot matchups. Feel like we have strong. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, strong with the team, and you've already played with Poome as well. Do you feel that helps?
Yeah, I mean, I feel confident with play with Poome. Yeah, I think we can beat many bot lane with LCS. So yeah.
So does that mean that you're going to be at EG and their bot lane tomorrow, 3-0 week?
Yeah, excited to play.
Yeah, attempting at that, or coming off of that with the 2-0 rather with the record. But so obviously going forward though, any thoughts to the fans for CLG following you along the journey?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the CLG fans to like following us and like watch our games, and yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. All right, CLG fans, rejoice. TSM taken down once again. All right, let's head on over to a break. But on the other side, you better get psyched. C9 Summit is facing off against a formidable opponent and a personal hero in 100 Thieves someday. So don't go anywhere. We'll see ya.
What's going on?
Jake from State Farm, the perp just confessed. I think. I don't know.
What?
Oh, can't afford streaming anymore, so here we are.
Oh, don't give up what you love. State Farm has options to personalize your policy so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Oh, that's great. The subtitles would be nice.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.